Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show and live stream. Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Yes, hello. How you doing, everybody? Have you had a nice weekend? Has your weekend been this good? Because I've been thinking ahead to my conversation that's usually pretty short with James. Certainly that part of it when I say, James, how was your weekend? And he says to me, well, I don't really have a weekend. I hope your life is so good like this. A life so good, the word weekend becomes obsolete. So I hope you've had that kind of weekend. We have documentary evidence to suggest as much. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Bairandi, for your cheeky little video, Bairandi, and a lovely video. Well, two videos. Another one's just come in from you, Victoria, which I'll do my best to play. That second video doesn't want to download for some reason, but the first one certainly from the Feira de Porco Alentejo in Ourique, the fabulous all-girl drum corps who performed continuously throughout Sunday afternoon. I've got a feeling we should start with that to rouse everybody into a state of awakeness this morning. I think that could be pretty useful. But please do send in, not but and do please send in your contributions from your camera on your mobile. It's as easy as that. Just capture something over the weekend or any time of the week, actually, to send in to celebrate our Portugal loving and Portugal curious status here on the Good Morning Portugal show. We love Portugal and we have the pictures to prove it. Send them in. 351, the country code, of course, 00351 913 590 303. That's not the concierge VIP line, which some of you have now, which is part of so exciting this weekend. That's part of the concierge VIP line, not 913-590-303, but that other number that people have to get in touch with me to ask their questions and to be helped on their journey here to Portugal has been joined by another amazing feature. Now, I was going to delay this, but I went ahead and did it anyway. I have created a private GMP network, nearly changed the name of the whole enterprise there, and we have a GMP community online now that is not Facebook or WhatsApp. How good is that? No more ads, no more no more fact checking. Just take away the noise, take away the swelling, and take away the pain, but leave the swelling. No, the GMP VIP community has landed. We have a private community. People have started contributing. It's absolutely lovely. And as you can see, Coach Turner telling us that the God Squad, but that whole package of very helpful, gentle fitness videos for Bon Viveurs will be, among other things, will be based on the new GMP VIP network. Details about that, how to join it. If you want to take advantage of the less than half price offer, go to GMP, go to our website, goodmorningportugal.com, and sign up for the new network as our lower priced option. If you want extra help, of course, you can join the Portugal Club still, and there's an option for doing that as well. Yeah, Coach Turner is in, Deagle's in, T-Duck's in. T-Duck's got a busy day, may not be joining us for a lot of the show, but look at all that wonderful content nonetheless. Slug wants a new mug. James will be with us, of course, at 9, with added Bob and Viv from 9:30. Portugal Sun is in, the Ancient Mariner, Andy Victoria with her wonderful videos, and the OLP. Fantastic to see you. Now, some of you who are here are already on the new network. What do you think? Do let me know. I'm going to pop over there myself and keep an eye on that. Oh, it says over there, The Good Morning Portugal show is happening now. Excellent stuff. And you members over on that network can chat with each other there as well. Fantastic. I wonder when we'll have our first GMP wedding as a result of the new private network. Just saying. It's nice to buy a hat. Love to pop along to a Good Morning Portugal wedding. When will be our first? Excellent stuff. Okay, let's play that video from Victoria. I think a bit of drumming going on here. Let's check it out, and we'll go to Bairandi soon afterwards for his froggy video up there in beautiful Bairrada. So we're getting some coverage of the country and a little vid from Bob as well. Bob, ahead of Bob and Viv being on the show with their top to bottom tour of Portugal. Really exciting news to come from them at 9:30. But before then, we're in the Algarve where Bob and Viv have been spotted by Victoria. I think they all hang out together, didn't you? Here you go. Oh my goodness, who doesn't like a bit of firm wood on taut skin first thing in the morning? That's incredible. Awesome drum corps. Too right. And their name is, where did you pop that? Portakabin. No, Por Bataku. Por Bataku, I think. The drum corps is called Por Bataku. I think there's a tortuous Portugal. Who am I to talk? But there's a tortuous Portugal pun in there somewhere, isn't there? Por Batuka. Have I been saying that correctly? I wonder. But that's superb. Thank you, Victoria Benson, for that. Wonderful stuff. And let's go further north, up to the Bairrada. Second video of the morning.
Oh yeah, they're frogs. Now off to France next week. Talking of frogs. There we are, so through the Cortes Bairrada. Early Sunday because of the clock change. Ciao bellas.
Still a bit windy, eh, Andy? That's fantastic. And a little bit naughty as well. Oh, talking of France, let's go over to some lovely pictures that we've been sent as well. The Ancient Mariner, of course, was with us in Portugal. Now over in France, look at this beautiful picture of Honfleur. One of my favorite little towns on the northern French coast there, Honfleur, built around that wonderful harbor. And I've eaten in one or two of those restaurants along there. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ancient Mariner, for that. Superb. And let's stay with the picture deck, shall we? I'm not sure if... Oh, that's also northern France. A tremendous hailstorm, apparently. We've got Ancient Mariner sailing around the coast of France, greeted by a terrible hailstorm, and then that was the silver lining and the rainbow at the end of that rather dramatic event there. Thank you very much, Ancient Mariner. A little blessing for you there, a rainbow blessing for all you gumpers. Oh, I feel better for that. And if I didn't show these last week, let me do them now just to make sure you are able to clap your eyes on them. This was Orion, wasn't it? Now, who was it who sent this in? But that was very beautiful, wasn't it? I think that was Bob. Many more pictures from Bob to come today. And a couple of sunsets that I may have neglected to share with you. A beautiful silhouette looking out across the water and the sunset there. I think that's the south. Yeah, that was possibly the Sagres lighthouse in the distance. And then this was Nazare. Excuse me. I think a lot of these from Bob, actually. And they're the legend of the hunter, the nobleman hunter, who was saved after leaping off the cliff into certain death, but was rescued by some divine intervention there. Nazare, thank you very much. Wonderful pictures. And of course, Guess the Gumpers still going strong. That's the same person. That Gumper from what, the 80s there, I think. I'm not sure. And as a baby there. And do we have any other Guess the Gumpers? I think we do, don't we? Did we guess this couple? I think we might have done, but just let me know if I didn't. This person is in the house, as it were. As a little baby there, Mr. Happy. Hello, Mr. Happy. Very sweet. And I don't know. I've lost track officially. One of these people is a Gumper and one is their sibling. Who is that? Oh, and this was one that went missing yesterday. This person may well be here as well. Did we guess this one? Help me keep up to date, if you will, please, with these Guess the Gumper pictures. Fantastic. Okay, let us move on then to what's going on in the chat at 8:42 this morning. I'm off to a bit of a slow start, I think, when it comes to giving you some attention in the chat. Deagle here. Bon dia, Carl and Compass from a chilly Belfast. -3 overnight. Yikes. Now a warm -1. A warm -1. Clear blue skies. Summertime started, but it's Baltic, and it's just one more sleep for Deagle until he's here with us in Portugal. Bon dia, Alegria Gumpers from the T-Duck just before 8 there. Welcome. Yes, of course. Has this thrown anybody? Has anybody got an interesting or amusing anecdote to share with daylight saving time? There's no need for it anymore, is there? Anyway, welcome to Daylight Stupid Time, DST. Early chores are calling. Sadly, I'll miss the entire show today. But look at this. Somebody who misses the entire show, but still gives so fully and freely with deep thoughts, Portuguese sayings, and an ugununu. Let's do those now. Deep thought of the day, then. The truth has no defense against a fool determined to believe a lie. The truth has no defense against a fool determined to believe a lie. That would be Mark Twain. Samuel Longhorn Clements. I didn't know this. Samuel Longhorn Clements, Mark Twain was a pen name. I didn't know that. American writer, of course, humorist, entrepreneur, publisher, and lecturer. Great stuff. One of my favorite quotes ever. I think that I made a show here in the last couple of weeks. I've known a great many problems in my time, most of which never happened, or something along those lines anyway. Mark Twain again. Portuguese saying of the day: Mais vale pássaro na mão do que dois ovar. A bird in the hand has more worth than two flying. There you go. Another ubiquitous global classic in the Portuguese there. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. I think the British prefer it in the bush. Who knew Hugununu then? The Belém Tower, officially known as the Tower of St. Vincent, was originally built in the 16th century on an island in the Tagus River as a military fortification. Do I need to show you a picture of the Belém Tower, I wonder? I think so that you just know it for sure. It's one of the, as soon as you type Belém into the search, up comes the tower, and I'll just give you a smattering of images of the Belém Tower so you can look at it and go, yeah, of course, that's what he's talking about. Where are they? Here they are. Yahoo's image search results will be with you on the screen presently. There you go. There they are. There's the Belém Tower, officially known as the Tower of St. Vincent. After the 1755 earthquake, the course of the river shifted, making the island closer to the land and eventually merging the two over time. The tower is currently on the north shore of the Tagus. Something very few people know is that the tower was used as a political prison during the liberal wars of the 19th century. Didn't even know about the liberal wars of the 19th century, I'll be honest with you. Since 1983, it has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Dad jokes to come then. Thank you very much for those 3 dad jokes. 3 of the best to come a little bit later on. We'll share those with James and Bob and Viv by way of a palate cleanse a little bit later on. Have a great week. Excellent week and a great day, says T-Duck. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you, T-Duck. Thank you very much indeed. Great job this morning. Bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz segunda a todos. From James. Como foi os vossos fins de semana? Very good. And, what's this? And now, Occupado. Oh, busy. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was a reference to a locked lavatory there. Occupado. Morning all. Oh, I also, that thing we giggle about sometimes, constipado being a cold. I found out what the actual word for constipation was in Portuguese. Should you ever need it if you're at the pharmacist, for example, or just want to tell a friend. And I've forgotten now. It was something like obstipado, which makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? A little bit obstructed, perhaps. God's tip of the day then. So, oh no, hold on. Morning all. Another week, so another day child wrangling, but we love it. Working with the grandkids, hard work with the grandkids, by the sound of it. Another day child wrangling. Excited by the news from GMP Central. Yes, the news from GMP Central is that the fitness videos, and we've made a lot of them. Well, Coach Turner has. I just top and tail them. And it's now my job to assemble them on the new network. So those will be there, as Coach Turner is saying here. They are coming up on the VIP channel soon. So you can grow old disgracefully as part of the God Squad, all part of the package over there. Who doesn't like a nice full package first thing in the morning? A good value one at that. God Squad tip of the day then. So with that news, the need for daily tips may be reduced. But until then, we've looked at a couple of running and walking. Oh, no, hold on a minute. Let me just start that again. I'm getting a bit of ahead of I'm gabbling a bit this morning. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. We've looked. Take a breath, Carl. Feel free to try that at home as well without the aid of a safety net. We've looked at running and walking over the last couple of weeks. So this week, let's consider other forms of exercise for stamina, starting with dancing. And I have been sent an excellent link as well to something on Twitter that Coach has shared with us. Where are you? Dancing for Fitness. And I'll share that with you. So those of you who want to research that for yourselves can. That's in the chat now. We've looked at running then and walking. And now dancing. Not an obvious choice, but fantastic all-round movement. Who doesn't like an all-round movement first thing in the morning? And good fun to boot. What's not to like? 30 minutes a day. Can you imagine? 30 minutes a day would make a difference to your health. And you can sashay in the kitchen, can't you? Put some music on while you're preparing your food and cooking in the kitchen, or cleaning around the house. That could have a few shapes added to it, could it not? I think a lot of exercise can be. You know how we've separated things, haven't we, in modern life, in our rationalized society? Everything's in a flipping department, isn't it? How about making fitness part of what we do? Cleaning and moving around the house could actually be a form of domestic yoga, could it not? And as Coach Turner says, going into town can form part of your exercise routine. Park up before you get there, walk the rest of the way. I think, a lot of integration can take place. It doesn't have to be, this is my life and this is the gym. Can't life, is there a book in this, Coach Turner, where everyday activities could be seen as part of your fitness regime rather than compartmentalizing every blooming thing in this life? Anyway, I will stop ranting. Now I really have to go, Chow. He couldn't tear himself away, and even then he sticks around to say smash that like button. Cheers, T-Duck. Have a great and productive day. Bon dia, kids, from sunny Portimao this morning. Let me see if the other video has downloaded now, Victoria. Thank you so much. Oh, my word. Your tabua is looking very fleshy this morning, if you don't mind me saying so. You've eaten some beautiful food there this weekend, haven't you? Oh, my word. So here are a couple of pics of the light out. Hold on a minute. The computer doesn't like that. Let me just save that differently. Yeah, the second video, I'll work on that and see what I can share tomorrow with that. The second one didn't want to come through for some reason. But your platters that matter there are looking rather good. Let me bring those onto the screen so everybody else can drool over them as well as me. Fabulous. Sounds like it was a great event. Very Portuguese, with loud music, lots of people. Late starts, I suspect. And look at this, as well as a beautiful drink, some amazing food as well. Look at the color there. Amazing. What have you got there in the middle? Is that a bit of cheese and then a little bit of, is that honey or some sort of dressing there? What did you have going on there, Victoria, where you are this morning in sunny Portimao? Oh, and of course, the oranges give that away there, don't they? A traditional leitão platter there. With the suckling pig on the plate, the black pepper sauce, a few crisps, and a little bit of orange, I think, to cleanse the palate at the end there and to cut through the grease. Suckling pig, done the traditional Portuguese way there. Very good. Thank you for those pictures, Victoria. Keep them coming in, folks, on 00351 913 590 303. Cool, you say, to have met Bob and Viv in the Algarve this weekend. We will see them at 9:30 this morning on this very show. And James joins us at around 9. Pics and vids, we've had those. Thank you very much, Victoria. Coming in from, in case you were wondering, those were from the Feira de Porco, the Pork Festival. Does what it says on the tin. Good morning, everyone, says Andy Klein. Good morning to you, Andy. Thank you for being a GMP VIP. Looking forward to your company. So many wonderful features on the private network there, away from the madness of Facebook and WhatsApp. Good morning from the ancient mariner. Good morning to you. Ahoy. And the Portugal sun with the Bom dia a todos. Feliz Semana Novo. Thank you very much. Good greeting. The OLP is here. Now, over the weekend, there was a little bit of vying for the title of the OLP. Oregonians loving Portugal. You currently hold that moniker, nickname, and title of the OLP. I think the other folks were the Oregonians loving Portland. Well, we shall see who wins that battle for the true OLP. We can have it out here on the Breakfast Show. Hi, Colin Luis. You say OLP. Lovely to see you here this morning. Hello, fellow Gumpers from you as well. Antonio F is in, as is Matty. How was the man cave on Friday? Bom dia, alegria a todos. De Pombal Soleida. Hope everyone had a great weekend. There's no reports to the contrary here so far. Dougie also in. I bet he had a good weekend. That's Douglas Hughes from VRSA. More vids to follow from Dougie. I love drums, says James. And it's always windy on a bike. Just saying, yeah, okay, coming to Andy's defense there. But you can put a sock on it. We are told by, I think it was Portuguese Andy, wasn't it, who said, just put a sock on there. Or you can muffle it. The old dead cat is the favorite, not literally. Hola, bon dia from Owen. How you doing, mate? Photos from Camina sent hola, everyone. We'll see if we can squeeze them in as well. If not, we'll certainly bring them to your screen sometime this week and immortalize them over on the blog where you can see other photographic selections from Owen, the excellent Owen. Bit handy with the camera. I am returning to Portugal just a long way. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Ancient Mariner. Good stuff. Okay. And Sarah Taylor, may I put you on the spot, Sarah, and ask you what your early feedback is about the GMP VIP network? Heading to Faro today to meet with Elizabeth and Vim. Please do. Am I saying that right, Vim or Wim? Please give our best to the pair of them. And Sarah, good to see you here this morning. Healthy Move has given us a smattering of emojis there. I wonder why. I think I might have missed something there. Ron Johns is here with one of those worrying. Somebody new turns up and says something weird. So I'm not even going to read that. I don't know what sort of trouble I will be evoking or getting myself into. Ron, you're very welcome here if your interest is in a bit of Portugal loving business, or if you're Portugal curious. But if you've come here to cause trouble, sling your hook, mate. Got feedback. Oh, okay. What's this? The property purchase update. I thank you for these updates, Matty. This is really helpful to anyone else, obviously, buying property here in Portugal. So thank you very much, mate. Got feedback from seller on preliminary contract. My lawyer, he's going all legal, isn't he? Even the way he's talking here tells you he's buying a property. Got feedback from seller on preliminary contract. My lawyer needs to make an adjustment or needs to make adjustments, but also has a 1 week vacation on Wednesday. Whoops. Hope we can sign this week still. I hope you can too. Fingers crossed that everything goes in the right direction. Andrew Gilchrist, Lord Gilchrist, is here this morning, the aforementioned. Morning to you. There you go. And Andy giving a bit of tech support. See, James, to cut down on wind noise on smartphone videos, get a dead cat. Google it. Ooh, I wonder, really, should you Google that? And Matty to Andy, I guess you're not referring to the dead cats my dogs bring home. No way. That doesn't really happen, does it? Or don't put a dead mouse on your smartphone. It's not a good look or even a good smell, really. And I think the conversation deteriorates thereafter about pets. What do you mean with gabbling this morning? You do that every day. Yes, thank you very much. And Bob's here. Bob will be joining us in person with Viv at around 9:30, about just over half an hour from now. Bon dia todos. It's a beautiful day in Everett today. None taken, Matty. So Bob and Viv are in Everett now. I thought it's exhausting, their tour. They have been top down, deep diving the country, looking at how to best serve people who want to do a scouting trip and evaluate their plans for Portugal. And they have been involved in a very thorough tour, which included visiting us last Wednesday at the meetup and today in Évora. So maybe we'll get a few pickies of Évora as well. Évora. And what's this? Oh, okay. So Antonio F with a little bit of Portuguese tuition. We love this. The most appropriate form would be como foi o vosso fim de semana. I'll try that again. Como foi o vosso fim de semana? Because you're referring to one weekend, not your weekends. Very good. James will be loving that. And everyone else could perhaps write that down as well for next Monday. Bon dia from sunny Minho. The man in the Minho is with us as well this morning. Excellent, excellent. Not a link. Well, it was a link that was published, but it was a link to your fabulous article about Portugal being one of the best places to retire to. And we will share that in due course. We'll break that down and share it with people. Thank you very much for creating that. Tony Time, man in the Minho, Antonio Barbosa. I am attempting to ask everyone how their weekend was. So, how are your weekends? So with that, okay. Yes, point of order, Chairman there. Very good. Very interesting. I'm sure Antonio. Oh, yeah, Antonio is back. The way you said was concerning several people. If you address one person, you say, como foi o teu fim de semana, informal, or como foi o seu fim de semana, formal. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Really helpful, Antonio F. And really appreciate you making the effort with us. Okay, Victoria Benson saying, of course, we didn't know about this festival until Saturday night, lol. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Often you don't know when the festival is happening until you hear and smell it down the street. Soft Alentejo cheese and a bit of jam was in the middle of that melange, that meaty melange. Who doesn't like a meaty melange first thing in the morning with perhaps not a bit of soft cheese or jam? I don't know, as you like it there. So Alentejo cheese and a bit of jam to go with that. Actually, my mouth is watering at the sound of that combo. Fabulous. Thank you very much, Victoria, for that explanation there. And Capricorn 12. How about a video from you, Chris? What you got? Capricorn 12. Chris is pretty tasty on the camera too, and creates videos at Capricorn 12 on YouTube. Got anything for us recent, Chris? How many times have you been to Portugal since the last time we spoke? Hola, bon dia todos from you as well. And the new, here we go, first review of the new GMP VIP network. The new GMP social media is an upgrade from Facebook, a 3-heart review. Thank you very much. And if you're Portugal property, if you're buying a property in Portugal, does that make you bi-curious? It could do, couldn't it? Matty, would you care to address that? It's entirely up to you whether you answer. One of my favorite quotes by Mark Twain: travel is fatal to prejudice. Talking of Mark Twain quotes, as we were earlier on, bigotry and narrow-mindedness also are killed by travel, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Says OLP. Morning, our people. To whom do you refer, OLP? Morning. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Here's to a new week. Good morning to you, Jacqueline Branco. Great to see you here this morning. And James and Antonio F. figuring that out. I wonder, maybe we'll have a final answer on that before the show's out today, on how to ask, like, hey, folks, how was your weekend? Or how are your weekends then, guys? That kind of, I think that was a cut of his jib. He can tell us himself because he's going to be here after we've played his tune. Let's find it now and give it a spin. Talking of God Squad tips of the day then, and dancing as a way of keeping yourself fit. 30 seconds here of intermittent dance. Well, you can pretend to be serious, and then you can break out into a bit of chair dancing some way through this. Here we go. Take it away. I saw you. I saw you.
You see me, Carl. Thank you for seeing me.
And I saw that little flourish at the end. You were dancing in your chair, weren't you? And swing. Very good, James. What's going on? That is not the background we're accustomed to.
No. Yeah, I was planning to do a big surprise for y'all because I'm at Hank and Connie's house.
Oh, you're in Porto.
Yes, and I was going to bring them on by surprise, but Connie got sick and Hank is still sleeping. So it's just me and their cats.
Sometimes things don't turn out quite as planned, do they?
Yeah, they really wanted to, but
Will you please give our love to Connie for a
I absolutely will. Yes.
Yes, and ash melhores to her. And of course, if you get the chance, put Hank's sleeping finger into a glass of water.
He might be watching in bed. I don't know. He is the night owl. Sometimes it carries right over into the morning. But
oh well, we love to them both. How wonderful! How are you enjoying Porto?
It's lovely. I do enjoy coming up here. Probably firstly to see Hank and Connie, and then followed that by the Porto area. They're actually in Vila Nova de Gaia.
As spotted here by Antonio F. How good is that?
Yes, Antonio.
You can't do anything without being spotted, and your backdrop changing as well. Look, Deagle's saying as well, Bon dia, James, have you moved? And Bon dia.
Yes.
How long does it take?
Yesterday it was quite. Yeah, never mind.
How long does it take a slug to travel from Ericeira to Porto?
Well, I was going to say, he's been working on it for several months. I think he's due to arrive any day now.
Yeah, just as you're ready to, you've packed your bags and ready to go.
That's right.
Bon dia, James, from the Portugal Sun. And Jim White's in with us as well this morning. Bon dia, todos. Jim, often here.
Francis, hey, Jim, we had dinner with Jim on Saturday night, so that was great.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. Gumpers getting together. So good to have met you this weekend, James. And I do like a Jim and James sandwich that I find myself in on Monday. Jim does like to join us for a bit of mindful migration on a Monday morning. I have something for you because of this. I didn't ask you how your weekend was. You were asking everybody else, and you got yourself some Portuguese tuition to boot as a result. But I made a little meme for you. I know better now than to ask you if your weekend has been good. I made you a little meme.
I love that. So you made that. I wasn't aware that you made that. I saw it one earlier in the show. I said, "Oh, how nice!" Yes,
that's my daughter living the dream on the beach here.
There you go. So, yeah, I should have recognized the background. I was too busy reading the words.
Now you know, don't you? You can recognize so much in your report.
I used to tell my kids, I'm more interested in the story than in the pictures in the comics that we were reading. So it's like,
are you the sort of person who studies the lyrics or not, or just enjoys the music? Because some people just don't. The lyrics just pass some people by.
Yeah, it's different with music, but when it's visual, it's like I was paying more attention to the story. I would see the visuals, but they would tell me, this different artist and his technique and the inking is different on this one because that guy and I thought it was all that one guy who does all the comics, So,
Dad.
Yeah, it's like, stop it. I say, well, how do you like the story? They go,
the story's okay.
So, but with music, I'm definitely the latter of the two. You said. Then I go with the music. I feel the music. I hear the music, and oftentimes, I don't know who the artist is. I don't know what the words are. I had this experience once. I don't know if you remember an outlet. Well, it was in the United States. I think it's called Warehouse Records, and they let you put headphones on and listen to a CD before you bought it. You could listen to the entire CD if you wanted to. And I said, Fleetwood Mac's greatest hits. I know Fleetwood Mac. What's their music? I don't know. I think I'll listen to this. It was their greatest hits, right? And they go, oh, I know this one. Oh, I know this one. It's just I had never put Fleetwood Mac to the music or the titles of the songs. So that was quite an awakening for me with Fleetwood Mac.
Very
always familiar with them. It's like forgetting someone's name. I know you, but
I think it's almost like a Myers-Briggs test, that, isn't it? And, you know, the people who just get carried away with the music, the people who love the lyrics and say, and they, you know, those people who even stop the track to say, did you hear that? Did you hear that? So, no, could you put the track back on, please? I was enjoying that.
yes.
Out yourself, if you will, whether you're one of those people that loves to just get lost in the music, or that you love to study the lyrics, or are you one of those people that has been singing the wrong lyrics for the last 30 years?
I've done that a few times, yeah.
Yeah, or even 40 years from some of those 80s hits. Incredible. All right, so good to have you here on Mindful Migration Monday. We are, of course, joined by Bob and Viv at the 1/2 mark.
Yes, I do want to address the lighting. You may not know it, but I've got 3 lights on in front of me because of the backlighting is so bright, and I'm noticing, it's kind of like look, that actually improves my lighting.
What happens from time to time as you obscure the backdrop there? We get an occasional flash of the intense blue. No, yeah.
Over there. Oh, there it is.
That changes things, doesn't it? So if you could just stay like that, that'd be great.
Okay. So anyway.
Yeah, what's been on your mind?
Always lots of things. Hank and I we were commenting last night. It's like, you know, we can pretty much talk. We were talking about the fear of well, in your professional experience, dead air, you know, and the fear we have sometimes of what if we don't, we get to, like, what do you say after bom dia in Portuguese, but you're speaking English, and hey, how you doing? Oh, fine. How are you? I'm good. You know, you just reach that space of, I don't know you. What do we say? And I don't know about other people, but both he and I share this sort of like, oh, what if we run out of things to say? And neither one of us ever in our life has ever had that happen, ever. Yet there's still that little fear in there about, oh my goodness. So we've been just talking about everything from, I try to minimize talk about politics, but things around politics, environment, you know, passions, fears, just the whole thing has been really wonderful. It's kind of like an English vomit, for lack of a better description. It's like, oh, we can talk and have, well, at least semi-intelligent conversations because we're not struggling for vocabulary and, you know, how do I say this? And, you know, so it's, for me, I tend to talk a lot more when I'm with English-speaking people just because that's the thing I yearn for. And that's my goal with Portuguese, to be able to do that in Portuguese, have an intelligent conversation in that language. But I'm still talking like a 2-year-old, so that's not going to, intelligent conversation.
That is quite an aspiration. And I think others will recognize that phenomenon you speak of. You catch up with the people who speak your native language, or one that you can have an intelligent conversation in. And as you say, it all comes out, doesn't it? Like you've been storing it up almost.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a yearning to communicate, to use this wonderful brain that I've been gifted, and to put things together in, you know, intelligent ways. And it's very frustrating. When we were talking about language last week, you know, part of the frustration is the adult mind wants to speak like an adult, and what's coming out of the mouth is a 2-year-old. I go now. Bye bye. Hello. It's like, but it's the learning process, you know. I know I'll get there. Every week I'm noticing some improvement. So, you know, give me 2 solid years and I'll probably be talking like a 3-year-old.
Is there another part to, I've got a confession to make, that sometimes when I'm with people I haven't seen for a while, and that's gone on, the thing that you're talking about, and I've just discovered that something has been washed in my breast pocket.
Oh, good. I thought maybe you were scratching your armpit there.
No, I could feel these lumps in my chest. I was thinking, oh man, what's that? And it's just a couple of things that got washed.
Oh, you had a lump. That was an easy removal. You didn't need surgery for that one.
No, I'll save these for you. We can talk about them when we
next speak. Thank you.
No, I'll be talking and doing that catch-up thing, or the English vomit, as you said. And then it'll go quiet. I'm thinking, what else? What else did I mean to say? What else? What else is there? What else is there? Do you have that? Is that a normal thing? Do people have that?
only because I've been saying so much. It's like, have I missed anything? Oh yeah, I want to say this.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot like me on the show. It's like, oh that. So everything is a stimulus for some response for me. So yeah, I rarely find myself in that space, that uncomfortable space of two people looking at each other, searching for something to say.
And how long do you think this is going to take? This process of having an intelligent conversation in Portuguese. No pressure. I mean, I'm not timing you or anything, but you know there's a lot of nuance in having an
yes, absolutely. And I'm giving myself the same time I had learning English. So you know, in 1 year I'm speaking like a 2-year-old. So that persists. If I continue to double the rate because I have an adult mind to also apply to the learning of the language.
Yeah.
You know. I'm guessing somewhere between 3 and 5 years, I'll be able to engage in at least something more intelligent. Somewhere around the age of 7, children start to be able to think a little more deeply. They start telling jokes in ways that actually make sense. You know, the 2-year-old joke is, "Hey, Daddy, you know, why does Santa Claus wear red?" And you go, "I don't know, because flowers." Just
right.
go. They go, ha, 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 isn't that funny? It's like, oh, okay.
Because they've learned the format of a joke, haven't they?
Yes.
They haven't got the content yet.
Right. The subtlety of what makes it funny. Right. Exactly.
And going back to what Anna was saying last week, it is right to begin to learn a language like that, isn't it? Without the constant self-judgment, because clearly kids don't have that. If you tell a joke that to an adult isn't funny, they're not worried about that, are they? They see it as a victory that they've learned the format of a joke, and that is its own victory.
And then they just laugh happily and run off and go tell mom the same joke. It's like, yes. And you're there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and you think to yourself, in quite the same way, possibly as a Portuguese person might look at you in a cafe and go, "Oh,
yes, you sweet child."
You do the same thing, don't
you? Sweet child.
Good effort. I'm gonna
laugh. Worry, you'll get there.
That's right. But then something else might happen when if we take Anna's advice, which was, you know, soak it up and let it come into you like children do.
My adult mind just doesn't have patience for that. But go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, but you know, of course it doesn't, because that's the whole point, isn't it? The adult doesn't have patience for that.
Remind yourself.
The adult mind has become adulterated, literally, and is full of self-judgment, and has got to a stage which children get to eventually, which is the self-consciousness, which can be a good thing when you want to have an intelligent conversation, because then you are looking at yourself and life in the abstract, aren't you? You aren't saying it's not all about me anymore. Well, it is in a way,
yes.
But linguistically, it's not just about what I want and what I need, like food, water, and to go in, to go out, whatever the childish agenda of language is. They're very action and self-focused concerns, aren't they? But when it comes to having an intelligent, philosophical conversation, those are often the abstract, aren't they? And that's where the adult capabilities are good, of self-judgment and transcendence and looking at things from a different point of view, not just your own selfish needs of the moment.
Yes, absolutely. And humor is one of those places where it can be very subtle. There's nuances. There's really understanding your language so that you can play with it. Puns are, you know, very difficult in a new foreign language. Yeah, you just don't have the vocabulary, the understanding how things can come together. So, yeah, it's fun every day, and I love being able to have the opportunity on Mondays to just speak, and when I'm with English-speaking friends to do that. But I don't really have a desire to hang out a lot with English-speaking people. I'm really trying to integrate as much as possible into Portuguese culture with Portuguese people. So that's why I also really value my Portuguese friends. All of whom I've met on this show, by the way. So thank you for that. Well, look, with the exception of the two I live with, but
yeah, sure, my pleasure. I mean, that's so good to hear. And Antonio F is working really hard this morning, isn't he, to get to the bottom of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Recently.
I love his help. Joao gives me tremendous help with my speaking as well. And that's one of the reasons. There are many, many reasons to befriend the Portuguese people, not the least of which is they live here. And it's like, how do you get to know the culture? Is you get to know the people, because the people are the culture.
Yeah, right.
But the benefit of having Portuguese friends who understand your struggle, because more than likely, well, at least in my case, all of them speak English very well. They can help me, like Antonio did this morning. It's like, well, I think you'd want to do that, and the back and forth is, well, I'm attempting to do this. Is that correct? Or there's someone that you can bounce it off of personally and get feedback directly from. That's incredibly helpful in acquiring the language.
It is, isn't it? And in the moment of receptivity and appropriateness as well, really helps, doesn't it? Which is very different to the abstraction of the classroom. So
yes, and I've invited all my Portuguese friends, please correct me. I will not be offended. I want to learn. If I do something wrong, tell me the right way, please. I'm asking you. So I'm always saying thank you when they do it.
Yes, really good. Okay, we'll come back to what else has been on your mind on Mindful Migration Monday here. If you have any concerns, questions at all about moving to Portugal, and you feel like you may benefit from the erudite perspective that James Holley brings every Monday, please ask your questions. Why are you laughing? That's why people come to this yard on a Monday.
Yes, I absolutely know. I'm just saying I don't think I've ever used erudite as an adjective for describing who I am as a person. I think it's accurate, but it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. So just hearing the word in reference to me made me chuckle a little bit.
Well, you're very welcome. Okay, bit of catching up to do in the chat. Now, this makes more sense now. We've got both parts of it. One of my favorite quotes, and again, this might be very relatable to mindful migration, of course. Travel is fatal to prejudice, a Mark Twain quote, one of OLP's favorites. It's fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. And many of our people, I don't think Mark Twain, did Mark Twain say all of this, or is it OLP adding the bit about many of our people need it sorely on these accounts? Maybe
it sounds like Twain, all the way through.
Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime.
I think that probably is all Twain or Clemens, depending on which name you want to use.
I didn't know he was Clemens in real life, and that was news to me this morning. So that does sound like that's all Mark Twain and not OLP's embellishment. Not that there will be a problem with that, but thank you very much. And I can't help but think there are some people who never travel who are incredibly wise. And how do they do that, James?
You got me. I don't know. I think in terms of native cultures, there's incredibly wise people there, but I think they're paying attention more to the entirety of the planet. So there's observations and experiences of the moon and the stars and the movement of the sun and the interaction between living things and the earth and all that stuff that I think contributes to wisdom as well. And of course, their world, they could walk in their world in the United States. It's a huge world to walk if you want to, and run into other cultures. I think that's the key. Other tribes, so I don't know about modern people who stay in one place. I think they get some of that if they travel, nationwide, because they get a sense of, oh, not everyone talks like me. Oh, not everyone believes the way I believe. So I think there's some growing, but everything I've heard from any Americans who have traveled abroad, they come back, it's changed my life. I no longer see the world with the same eyes. It's really.
It is perhaps in our age the fast track, isn't it? Is move your body and that will move, or free your mind and your ass will follow kind of effect, isn't it? In a world where it's become possible to move around the world and move your body, that has an effect on the mind. And I think perhaps the people who have become incredibly wise without moving far from home, or not moving far from where the fruit has fallen from the tree, perhaps travel in their minds and hearts. Maybe that was the old way of doing it. It was daring to travel within.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, and travel is much easier now, especially from the US. If you were in Europe, you could literally walk everywhere if you wanted to put that much effort into getting there. But in the United States, basically this continent was, well, Canada and Mexico too. So it's a huge country. So, moving around in it is the same equivalent to moving around in all of Europe.
Yeah.
And so getting the scope of that too. And I've met or read, I don't know if I know any of these people personally, but I have experiences of Americans who've gone to other countries and they come back talking about what idiots they are because they don't speak English and they got no good food and all that kind of stuff. So there are obviously people who do that journey and do not come back transformed.
Yeah.
I think those are the people who just want to have an American experience somewhere else.
And it hasn't broadened their mind necessarily. It's just broadened their bank of experiences that they can speak.
Yes. And I'm not sure that bigotry, even though Twain mentioned that, I'm not sure that gets killed just because you travel.
Well, as a British person, I'm not going to say anything. I'm about both when it comes to songs, whether people focus on the lyrics or the music.
And Francis, you're here now, right? I mean, you're in this country.
No, he's been here and very close to where you are, but has gone again.
Okay. I thought he was coming to stay this time around.
Wouldn't that have been amazing? Yeah. If you
yeah.
synchronized a couple of weeks back, you'd have been. But soon it will be possible. He is on his way.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm very excited for him. Every time he says he's coming, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's lovely, isn't it? We're like, it's like having a really long and slow marathon, isn't it? On the Portuguese show, we're cheering people across the line, and sometimes there are months and years between them crossing the line, but cross the line they will, and we will be giving them bottles of water and putting that foil blanket around them, giving them a big hug.
There you go.
Yeah, we can't be at the airport giving you water and a foil blanket, obviously. Big on music and lyrics, but they're usually mutually exclusive depending on the song. And if they both line up, I become a fan.
Okay.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
I really like the lyrics, not the music so much. Or I really love the music, but the message is not. I get it.
Yeah, but ding dong, here's one with both.
Yes.
The funny thing about language is one always fights for dominance unless you're a polyglot. Polyglots usually use words like polyglot as well, don't they? Thank you very much, Lighthouse, for you've joined the exclusive network now. James, you're also a member. I see that you haven't used your membership. Well, you've been busy, haven't you?
I've been busy.
Real people in real life.
Yes.
Looking forward to your contributions.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who doesn't even look at my phone if I'm with somebody else. That's really old school. You see,
that's the new rude.
Yes, you may not know it by looking at me, but there was no such thing as computer technology when I was a child or a teenager.
Whoa, what was that like, man? That is
what? How did you survive? How did you meet people at places? Well, we talked on the telephone, or we saw each other at school. We said, I'll be there at that time. And we went there. Or we couldn't go there. And they say, where were you, man? The next day. It's like, my mom got sick or I couldn't get a ride or whatever. But it wasn't like 5 minutes before, something better came up. I'm doing that. See ya.
You were actually sat at home looking at one of these magazines about these new things called computers, which were going to change our lives. It was so strange, man. It was a vision of the future.
Well, that came even later, after high school. But eventually. So I've had, to me, there's tremendous, I was going to say not advantage, but value in having, and we all do it through a lifetime, things change. And I consider my grandmother, who was born at the turn of the century, and like, what did she go through in her 82 years? Yeah. She went from basically turn of the century to 1980, something like that.
What
it's like, okay,
time. What a span.
Radio, cars, airplanes, jets, computers, several wars. I mean, it's like, whoa.
Yep, absolutely incredible. And my father never had a computer of his own, which I always find fascinating.
Except this one. This is still the best computer, I think.
Well said, sir. Well said. Yeah. Yep. And he used that in a very special way, I have to say. His would that be RAM or ROM? His human RAM or ROM was used in the most extraordinary way. Bit of both.
Probably both. Yeah. It's the storage and the application. Yeah.
Look at us, James, ready and able to deal with mindful migration inquiries, but instead we get asked, can you breathe dead air And what are the consequences of that for your body and mind?
Oh man, Maddie, that's a great question. It makes people incredibly uncomfortable.
Yes.
So you try to avoid it as much as possible, because as soon as you get a breath of that dead air, oh no, there's this nervous anxiety that comes on. So
and do you want to change your mind about having an intelligent conversation in Portuguese? Because these are the sort of things that are going to come up.
Do I want to change my mind about it? Someday I'm not going to do it today.
But this is a sort of question you'll be asked and be able to answer in Portuguese, right?
Yes, eventually. When I'm about 10 or 12 years in, hopefully I'll be able to speak at that level.
The rest of the world learns English from school age. Native English speakers will always be catching up, says Portuguese. A question then for a multilingual speaker to you, Matty. Do you think, counting German, Dutch, or English, do you dream in German? And as a result, what are your dreams like? Because, of course, the cradle of psychotherapy would be Germany, right? And tell me about...
I guess beginning with Freud, as sort of he's touted as the father of modern psychiatry or psychology. So probably, yeah.
What happens when you dream in German there, Matty? Let us know, if you will.
I haven't dreamed in German, but I have dreamt of a German on occasion. So,
do you want to say any more about that, or should we move on?
No, I have a very lucid dream of finding a soulmate, and I know her name even now, Stacy Baumgartner, which I guess isn't even German. I think it's Austrian. But what a bizarre dream!
This is let's take a break from mindful migration for one moment here, and talk about Stacy Baumgarten, who is your soulmate, who you dream about, who is in the post, as it were.
I never met her. It was just a dream, but the name, I mean, this was decades ago, and the name never left. I said, okay. I actually know a man with a surname Baumgartner now, and I keep forgetting to ask him if he has any family members, female family members named Stacy. I'm really curious about that, so I just need to remember to ask him. So,
wow, yeah, she's a widower who's just come into a massive amount of money and is looking for a partner.
And what a bizarre name, for an American who speaks fluent English and no other languages to have a dream about someone with that name. Like,
I can't believe it. I can't believe that your dreams would be so specific. I don't remember my dreams very well.
Me either, usually, but that's another thing. This one just stuck. I mean, it just stuck with me. It just drove itself into my memory. So,
my goodness. Okay. I was going to ask you if you take it to your supervisor, but it's none of my business. It might be that those wise people that did not travel talked extensively to travelers that passed by.
That could be as well, yeah.
Or the circus or traveling sales.
Yeah, truly.
Let's give thanks to Frank Whittle. Let's have a Frank Whittle moment, the genius that gave us the jet engine to the world, which, of course, emerged pretty much in your grandmother's time, as you said there, which enabled cheap, long-distance air travel. Ultimately, he changed the world more than most people. That's an interesting claim, isn't it? Not one that I would necessarily disagree with there. Andy, I dreamt in all three languages. It depends mostly which one I used most the day before. That's interesting, isn't it?
So that makes sense.
Yeah, practice. Can't wait for my first Portuguese dream, though. Will be an exiting milestone learning Portuguese. It'll probably be Maria Ferreira to match your Stacy Baumgarten, won't it? If he has a Portuguese dream,
could be. And I've had one. Again, I don't remember a lot of my dreams. I seem to be remembering more of them since I've been in Portugal, and I don't really know why, but I have had one or two dreams where I've used Portuguese words in my dream.
Wow.
Oh, okay. That's progress. Eventually, I'll be dreaming full-on Portuguese dreams.
Ocean Dweller, Aviva's here. Good morning to you, bon dia. And
Hi, Aviva.
Carrying on, I don't know if you're going to be doing, as a psychotherapist, if you're offering any analysis of these dreams. I guess it hasn't been asked for, so maybe we shouldn't. But I had my first Portuguese spoken dream, says Portuguese. Of course, it wasn't very long. It was probably like, hola, bon dia.
Hi.
That's it.
I like you. Bye.
Adios.
It's a 2-year-old. Yeah.
We started watching. Oh, and then in that conversation of hi, I like you, then you have a hug, and then you go about your way, don't you? Like,
yeah.
Gone. Very nice.
Will you be my friend? That's even older though. That's usually more like 4.
But you would just say, amigo,
See,
amigo,
or just no words.
and then you then other grown-ups have to pull you apart and say,
Yes. Okay, we gotta go now. Come on, say goodbye to your friend.
You start
No,
crying.
we're friends.
Then you start crying and smashing the floor with your fist.
And then you ask if you can have a cookie, and then you go jump up and down.
What's this? We started watching the final season of Gersbach's in South Africa. Is this your own documentary about your own life? Is this a thing? The moment we landed back in South Africa, we need more information on that, please, if you will. And did you watch the match yesterday? You're being asked as well, Francis. I wonder if life on Zoom, where it is so easy to be internationally focused, contributes to being wiser as well. You certainly
wondering.
Well, and you get to judge people's backdrops. That can broaden the mind.
Yeah, like my green screen.
Catherine is here from Villarreal to Santa Antonio. 2 Whitbys for the price of 1 this morning. Marvelous. Great to see you both. And thank you for the pickies. We will do our best to squeeze those in. Alongside all these wonderful pictures from, hey, hold on a minute. Bob knows somebody called Baumgartner. This could get very interesting. Let's give him a nice big round of applause.
Oh,
James, we found her.
It's the Portuguese travelers.
How are you?
Good.
We're
really
doing
good.
grand. Are we muted or are we on?
You are there.
You're on.
You're in
Okay.
Evra. Is that
We
correct?
are. And we had a delightful window shot, but it didn't work on our computer as well as James. And you couldn't see our faces, but you had a beautiful view out the window.
We have had
Yeah, I have two ceiling lamps and a light ring on, and this is all I get. So backlight is tough.
Yeah, didn't work.
So anyway, yeah,
we had James. Look at this. Look, this is Portuguese. Says James, twist the camera to your left slightly. So for future reference, as well as dead cats on the smartphone, you can twist your camera to your left slightly. I think he just wanted to make you do that. The feeling of power, getting to people to do things on the screen is probably quite gripping for some people.
Well, I thought, well, if I can eliminate all of this light and maybe just bring a curtain over here, then that would help. But the curtain comes this way. So it would just block out the only really interesting thing in the background to look at and the color, and that's not creating the problem.
Yeah,
getting used to the hands.
It is a perennial problem. If we want to see your beautiful faces well lit, you have to do the Bob and Viv on the left. And if you want to show off your backdrop and lose some of the detail of the face, you have James on the right. That is pretty much how it is with the laws of physics, I think.
And maybe Raquel from Lighthouse Consulting could bring a little light to help. That would be great.
We shall see. She certainly brought some light to my life this morning. Thank you very much, Raquel, for being here. So this tour, I called it a top-down deep dive. Is that an accurate depiction of what you've been up to, you two?
Yes, or a quick overview. We've been moving at the speed of light, so it's been hard to look at everything, but we've gotten a really good feel for a lot of these cities and areas, and that's what we were after, to see how they feel, see what's there, so we can take people and show them.
Yeah, it's been very, very interesting. So this has not been a touristing trip for us. We've been researching, like Viv said, the feel of a place. And of course, that's going to vary for each individual person. James, you brought that out a month ago, and it really resonated with us that yeah, you're right. And there are some places we stop where, wow, for us, this is, frankly, in Tavira, we're like, whoo. If we weren't already in Ponta de Lima, this feels really good. So we haven't done a lot of sightseeing, but our partner in travel this week, Jennifer Reed with Jen Safaris, this is all her idea because she tried to find an overview trip of the country when she was looking it over and couldn't find a small grip overview based on what are the villages like? What are the towns like? What's the weather like here? All these different aspects. And so she's been along with us on this trip, and just has been a marvelous person to brainstorm off of, because she's done these safari tours for years, and so it's been a lot of fun.
We've talked to people who actually live in these areas, and they're giving us the good, the bad, and all of it together, and their opinion. And some people love it. Well, everybody loves where they live mostly, but they've been very good at telling us why. So that's really helpful.
Wonderful.
And if they've explored other areas and decided on where they are, that's good information as well.
Yes.
Why did you make that choice? Why didn't you stay there? Yeah, that's
We've been learning all of that. It's been a really big learning experience for us.
Yeah, we got to meet in person some Gumpers with Victoria Benson and Sarah Steve Yerman, and of course folks around San Martino, and actually 2 of the places we've stayed this week. Let's see, Luzmar Villas in Luge, and where we are right now, Alvera Hotel in Évora, came out of that Wednesday meetup.
Yeah, we have people there that have actually stayed here and recommended them, and they're great.
Oh yeah, so
and they were that far away from getting to Ericeira. That far.
Yes,
almost. It didn't quite. It was so close. We'll get it next time.
So close, and we
James was traveling, so we just couldn't make it work.
No, I understand. I understand.
Yeah. Right,
I'm looking forward to the time it happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we've got a slideshow because I was going to ask you to detail your tour. Perhaps the best way of doing it, and I don't know if these are in any particular order, these were just the way I managed to save them, and forgive me as well, Michael and Catherine, if they are mixed up with your photographs as well. Bob and Viv will let us know. But let me just take off this banner as well so we can get the full glory of these pictures. Would that be one of yours, Bob and Viv?
Yes.
That's Montagordo, just showing that it actually is still a working fishing village. There were folks out mending the nets. We've got a picture of the big tractor they used to pull the boats up on the beach to work on them and prepare them for the next time. And it's beautiful, clear on the east edge of
almost
Portugal.
to the Spanish border.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, and there's quite a lot here, so I shall whistle through them here.
That's Évora. That's the view out our window that we couldn't show you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we can see it there.
Yes.
That's great. Excellent. Yeah. So these aren't in chronological order, are they?
No.
What's happening here? Is that normal or is that a bit flooded?
That's not ours.
That's not ours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know where that is.
This is fun.
Finding a sock, isn't it, in your laundry when you get home? So I don't know whose that is there.
Pick it up. Yes, that's after the flood, Carl. They built a temporary bridge so they could escape to the town on the other side. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is that yours?
That's also Évora out the window here last night. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Fantastic. That's an old one, isn't it? That is from you, Bob,
Foz.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's off our hotel balcony at Foz.
That is a great photo, by the way. To capture the stars that clearly, and see Orion in those clouds. That's wonderful. Beautiful.
It was incredible night. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's one of yours. What's happening here, Viv?
Well,
Jennifer is wanting a particular kind of dog that will stay small enough to travel in the cabin of an airplane. And this man raises, breeds, and shows the little Pedangos, the little rough-coated Pedangos. Pequeño Pedangos. And this is one of his puppies. She's 3 months old. He's 3 months old. And so Jennifer and I were very happy holding puppies that day and learned a lot about Pedangos and the dog shows in Portugal and all of that. It was extremely interesting. Great guy. Spent all afternoon with us talking to us. So
oh, lovely. So you can get a mini Pedango. Perfect travel companion by the sound of it. But you'd be watching that dog all the time, wouldn't you? Thinking, okay, it's still small enough. Okay, it's still small enough. Okay, it's still small
about a year old.
It's a growth spurt hit,
It's like, oh, it's too big. No, that's ruined my plans. Okay, all right. Where would this be?
Oh, Nazaré.
That's Nazaré.
All right, Silver Coast Action. Now I recognize this orifice.
Yes, San Martino. That's the tunnel. Yes.
Okay. And a little bit of Azulejo action. Where would we find this?
Setúbal. That's Setúbal at the market, the big market in Setúbal.
Scribble market. Saying it like a native. Love it. Okay. Dramatic angle.
That's the church in Silvish.
Silvish, yes.
Yeah, up on the mountaintop, part of an old fort castle up there.
Mhm.
And
How long have you been on the road, you two?
Since
almost a week.
yeah.
Wow.
6 years.
Feels like 6 years. Some lovely poppies, I think. In there.
That's Tibera.
Okay. That looks to me like the south coast. That'll be more of
It
your.
is. That's
Corriero.
Corriero.
Okay.
It's where the Benesil Caves are.
Yeah.
Okay. And
That's Tibera.
More Tibera.
That's more Tibera.
These are fantastic. Thank you so much. Cheeky view.
Yes, it is from the old castle up on top.
Yes.
Yep. Great views up there, aren't there? Because it's quite a mixed. It's quite a mixed city, isn't it, Stubble? There's some very picturesque and very industrial parts of.
Yes.
Stubble.
Yes.
Okay. Is that one of yours?
Yes, that's Tibera at night when we arrived.
Yes, we got there and took that
looking
picture.
across the river.
What a beautiful vista to greet you.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
I mean, it is known for being very pretty, of course, isn't it?
It is. It's a beautiful town.
Yeah.
And another wall.
Oh, you got to my house. Beautiful.
Yes. I came looking for you, James.
Yeah, I was in the far back corner having breakfast.
We knocked. You weren't home.
Yeah.
So where is James's castle?
Yeah, I think that one's coming, up in.
Which castle? There are so many. I can't keep.
It's labeled in the phone.
Fortunately, my iPhone tags them, and so I'll be able to go back and look for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were drawn in by the country.
Yeah.
Being able to travel both along the coast and yesterday clear across from
Montegordo all the way up. We came up the eastern side of Alentejo, and it's totally different than the western side.
Yeah.
We've gone down the western side once before.
Yeah.
And we came up the eastern side. It's green over there. There's lots of trees and cows and sheep and farming and castles, things all along the border there.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was a great drive.
Yeah, it really is.
Totally different than the other side.
So it sounds like in some ways it's been, I mean, obviously travel can be tiring, can't it, with the demands on the body of moving hither and thither. But it sounds like it's been energizing and inspiring as well. I mean, the lovely photographs we've seen there are indicative of the fantastic and diverse time you've been having here in Portugal.
Yes. It's all so different. And we've had a ball. Everything has been fun. We're a little tired now. I'm so sleep deprived, I'm punchy, but I can sleep when I get home. It's okay.
Of course you can. Of course you can. And this is the sort of process you'll be putting others through. And I see, have you changed the name of your venture? Have you changed the name of your venture? You've got a realistic approach here. What's happened?
Yes. That came to Bob last night. It's like, okay, copyright that. That's it. We're not changing it again.
Well, it's kind of, James, you had posted something about puppy. How did you put that about a puppy mind?
A puppy's brain.
Oh yeah, in terms of meditation or mindfulness. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
last week it was beginner's mind, so that's what we were talking about. But
okay. And see, I missed that one last week.
Okay.
So because we were getting ready to travel.
Yes.
But this Practical Portugal came out of. I was explaining to Jennifer that we want to just have a practical view of the realities. That's why we're visiting with people along the way. That's why we wanted a broad overview. And no, we won't put somebody else through quite what we went through.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to go for a couple more nights. We can't go at this pace.
Yeah, but
we don't want to deliver dead people to the other end.
So much for slow travel, huh?
Yeah, the time of our lives.
Yes.
This is the fast food tour, yeah.
But we were just chatting, and I said something about wanting to give a practical overview, so people don't get surprised. And this whole concept is for those that are are not necessarily heart called yet. They're really, really drawn and curious. But if it's not rock solid in your heart, you really need to make a trip. We've talked about that. And normally we'll be going one direction. We're making a round trip. Normally we'll go across based on people's interest, but we want to have a realistic approach. And it was one of those kind of where the mind went with the three of us the other night that came up with Practical Portugal. And then the realistic approach just came up.
Last night he was looking out the window and said, Practical Portugal, a realistic approach. It's like, that describes it completely.
There you go. Got to go with that inspiration.
Yes.
Okay. So
And
practical
this will be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I yeah, it sounds great to me. And for those who aren't quite as up to speed as some of us here, the idea is to have people go with you on this journey.
Yes.
And not just be wowed by Portugal, which they inevitably will, but to actually check and like match their reality as they experience it with you, with their expectations, so they can make a practical and realistic move, as well as a romantic and fancy.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it would be ideal if people choose a place to land and then make use of the service you have to explore.
Yeah.
Right, because some people get stuck and not coming because they can't figure out where they want to be. It's like that can be very temporary. It's going to take you a year to figure it out anyway. So get here, then everything becomes more easily accessible. We make use of a service like Bob and Viv have, and we go find out about these places we're curious about.
Yes,
and that's a beautiful combination. Yeah.
And it'll be fun. I don't want to hit the practical too hard. We want people to not have stars in their eyes about the whole thing and realize that, this is our experience. We've got the experience of all these other people over the past year and a half. We want them to know that it's not all birthday cake and rainbows. There's some practical things they need to know.
And it's not all tourist attractions.
It's not all
There's real people and real places that are interesting, but not necessarily the only places you might go to otherwise. So
No, we found some great out of the way places. There's a border town that, if you're coming on a budget and you don't have all the money in the world, it's a cheaper place to live, and yet you're close. You've got proximity to all these other great places. So I wouldn't mind living there. It was a pretty little town. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to live there.
I need to ask you about
that. I'm not going to live there.
I need to ask you about this because you are synonymous with, of course, the Ponte Lima experience. And by that, I mean, when I have conversations with people and they say, I'm going to visit Ponte Lima, I say, well, it's been nice knowing you, because they go there and they stay there like you did. Has your head been turned? I got the feeling that maybe it was on occasion on this trip.
No, I do see the appeal of the Algarve now, and I really couldn't see it before. It's like, I don't know why everybody wants to go live there. It's the beach. Yeah. But, I like the beach, but it's the beach. And that comes from living 48 years in Florida and being surrounded by it. So, you never appreciate what you grow up with. No, we're still firmly in love with the North. I do see the appeal. I would go vacation down there now, whereas before I would have always gone somewhere else. Yeah. But I would go vacation at certain spots down there. I didn't like it all. Some of it I did, some of it I didn't.
Go figure.
Yeah. You don't like the whole thing. But there are some really beautiful places that are not crazy down there. So
yeah. Hey, that would have been a good name for this venture. Go figure. But maybe somebody's already done that, I'm sure. Okay.
FIGGER, figure.
Go figure.
Go figure.
But Figuera, or go Figuera. In Portugal. Anyway, I think you've got a great name there. Practical Portugal, a realistic approach. Sounds wonderful. So when can we expect it to be available commercially to people?
We're trying to put one together for May. Yeah. So we've got to get on that when we get home. Get all the details nailed down. We're much, much closer now than we were last week. So.
Oh, I see. So you create the schedule and people join the schedule. You don't create a bespoke schedule for people who want to come.
No,
that's a custom deal. I mean, it's really great. So tell Bob and Viv what you're interested in, and they'll put a package together for you. It's pretty incredible.
We can do that. Yeah, but we'll have a basic itinerary And if they're in, and we're going to do it somewhere. If we have the whole group is interested in sustainability, we'll go more to the center of the country and show that. We can tailor it to desire if they want to be on the coast, but we want people to see both, because we've seen people come and say, this is what I want this kind of house and this kind of place, and then they get irritated with the realtor because it's like, I don't know why they're not showing me what I want. Well, they're showing you what you asked for, and if you don't know what you want, you can't expect them to. And then they buy the exact opposite, or they rent the exact opposite, or they go live in the exact opposite place. They want a coast and they go to the interior. They want mountains and they went to the beach, or some people don't know what they want.
It's so true.
They see it.
Yeah. Okay. What a fantastic idea. Good
and
luck.
What you want changes when you get here.
It does.
Oh, humidity really matters to me, or the temperature, or how much rain there is. These things really matter to me. I hadn't considered that before.
Exactly.
So that's
Or
important.
even wonky veg. Look, not many people know they want wonky veg, do they? For example, Monday GMP. Pete likes his wonky veg. Make sure you wash it first, Pete. Had my amazing bifana without any sauces. He's a purist. Other than red wine, it was marinated in, and coffee, and prepared to build my table and benches.
Thanks, Pete. I'm hungry now.
What a day you're having, as I think. Quite a morning you're having.
Yeah.
Antonio F. Absolutely. Kashkaish, you didn't call into Kashkaish, did you, on your journey?
No,
We did not. We did not.
Okay.
We've been through before, but
yeah, we've seen that before. We're trying to see things we haven't seen before.
Kelly Garcia is such a good name. It's also it's in the same realm as Stacey Baumgartner, which we'll come back to in just a moment.
Yes.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Andy. You have both made yourselves at home on on our own separate special network without the noise of Facebook. Can you imagine that? Starting a group that's not on Facebook or on WhatsApp. I've done it. I'm so proud and pleased with that. And thank you, Andy and Kelly, for introducing yourselves over there. Not all tourist attractions. We keep being asked. This is with reference to not all tourist attractions. We keep being asked if we visited this place or that. But I keep saying we haven't had time to tour yet.
No, I don't.
Getting life going. That's a really good point, isn't it? Would you all care to comment on that? Let's start with you, James, on that idea.
Well, I'm right around a year and a half from arriving in the country, and I'm still not there. I'm still taking care of some paperwork. I still have a couple appointments. There's still things to be done. I've done a little bit of exploring. One of the things that has restrained me is my driver's license, and I have an update on that I can talk about next week. But so there's things to do. When you come here to live, there's things you have to do to get your life going, and you're not going to be. If you're on vacation, you spend 2 weeks solid just going all over the place. But it's different than trying to create a life.
Super. Bob and Viv, how realistic can people be about touring? Because they might think to themselves, great, do the visa, land, followed Bob and Viv's advice, found the place I loved. I'll be ready to tour in week 2. Probably not going to happen, is it?
No.
Probably.
You're so busy when you get here.
Yeah, we're 16 months in.
Yeah.
And
we went hardly anywhere that first year. We were so busy learning how to live here, learning Ponte de Lima. We'd go here or there, up to an hour away, maybe in the north.
Yeah.
We really didn't leave until now, except to go visit my daughter in Amsterdam. We really didn't go anyplace else. And this has been our first long tour. And it takes a while. We were so much busier than I thought we'd be, because I thought we'd be, a few weeks in, we'd be off and traveling, but no.
Yeah.
You don't even want to, really. You're so used to getting used to where you are.
I was up till 1 a.m. this morning doing my NHR because it's almost the 31st and I'd had passport difficulties, and it's like, I got to do it,
Nothing like pushing it till the last minute.
So
you won't be alone with that, and thank you for that.
That's a reminder. Because the top. No more time to wait.
That's a reminder to everybody else as well.
So, he was about to come to bed last night, and I said, "You do the NHR?" Go, no, I said, "Got to be done."
Wow, hard task, mistress. You're not getting in here until you've done the NHR.
Nope.
And my experience.
Hey, I done mine. Mine is done.
Yeah, and I'm guessing because my experience is once you are on the site and doing it, it's not all that complicated. It doesn't take too long. But getting access could take weeks. And what was my number? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
Bob
like
did
gardening.
mine actually. He just signed in. He says, "I'll just do it. This is easy." So he
Yeah, yeah.
did it
Well,
last
that will
week.
come as a great comfort to people. That's fantastic. Thank you for that reminder as well. A couple of housekeeping things before we talk about Ms. Baumgartner. I must have, and the dad jokes this morning, I must have flipped a button on my browser and I've been watching a different edition of the live show for the past 20 minutes. Well, I hope you enjoyed a classic moment.
Well, welcome to this one.
He was probably thinking to himself, these people are so rude. They're not responding to anything I'm saying. The dogs want their morning walk. I have to obey their wishes. And he's got big dogs.
Oh.
He doesn't want to face the consequences. Have a great day. You can catch up on the catch up as well if you would like to. PT Countryman Marcus Bondia from the Gatwick Airport. Look, yeah, if you're in any British airport, I'm sure you can't wait to be back home in Portugal, quite frankly. Question for you, Bob and Viv. Do you include housing availability? I love Tavira, but housing has proven very hard to find long-term, at least during the summer. Can you help Mr. S with that?
Housing across the Algarve is almost impossible during the summer if you're renting. It's landlords will rent to you and tell you June through August you cannot live here.
We have that on good authority from Victoria Benson,
and other people. It's rentals.
I mean, the rates are such typically that the people renting over the summer make everything they make for the rest of the year in the rents over the summer. So that's why that happens.
Yeah.
Well, continuing on from that, then, how about a hack or a little, laterally thought out approach to this? The D7 ties you to a place because of set requirements concerning accommodation.
Yes.
In one great sense, of course, it does. You've got to have your 12-month lease somewhere. But this is a country where it's fairly easy to move around. So perhaps, especially if you're looking at Tavira, it might be useful in the first year not to get too attached to being in the dream town, because that could cause a lot of anxiety. So there are workarounds. You could be a bit further away, could you not? And move your way once on the ground closer to Tavira.
Yeah, and that goes to what I said about establishing a landing place. It doesn't have to be your forever place. Just get your feet in Portugal. Then you can go to all these places fairly easily. I mean, everything is within 3 hours of Lisbon driving, so it's not that hard to see the entire country once you're here. So get your long term wherever you can get it.
Right.
If you absolutely can't stand it, you're only tied to it for 4 months, 1/3 of the lease. So you can move out, get yourself established and do your exploring once you're here.
Right. We're also going to have someone at every stop who lives there. And they'll be able to talk about the housing market and what's available, what's not available, how hard it is.
Great.
And
what they love, what they don't love.
All of that. But yes, all the information that we can gather will be at these places, and we'll let them know everything that we can possibly learn about all of them.
Yeah.
So,
have a Victoria, who you mentioned and who you met up with. Have a plan B. We know what you've been up to. People tell us on the screen here. Have a plan B for summer. If you rent in Algarve, leave the country for a different adventure.
Yes.
There you go.
Go traveling. You're traveling in the summer, or make friends with people with farms and things. Go stay with them.
Mr. S, there's a little bit of a workaround, and we do understand your frustration. Just trying to help with that.
Absolutely.
On a similar note, I think it may be related. This is where people understandably fixate on known areas because they're the known areas. And that's what you find out about. I think it may be related to the hype generated about a place. I think there are places in Portugal that exceed expectations. So that's another.
I know one of them.
And there are places in the Algarve that aren't tourist towns that you should be able to get at least just fine. They're full of people that live there.
Yeah.
So and it doesn't, tourists don't flood it because they're going to the places everybody's talked about.
And talking
there are places down there they can do it. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Thank you for that, Viv. And the flood photo is mine. We've solved this mystery. Thank you, Catherine. And sorry to mix the photos up this morning. It is of the floating bridge across the Rio Guadiana at the Alcutin to Spain connection there for the Contrabandista Festival. Is that a contraband festival? It's a bit obvious, isn't it? If you're carrying it across a floating bridge like that.
It might be like constipado. It might mean something completely different, but
it could. Try it at a pharmacist near you this morning. Thank you very much for that.
Go in and ask for some contrabandista, whatever that is.
James.
Ask them for that and see what you get.
Okay, let us know tomorrow how you get on with that. Right, Stacey Baumgartner. The plot is thickening here. We are bringing you, it's a team effort, and we're bringing you closer to this person here. Baumgartner, is that right? Okay, so this is wonderful because Andrew Portuguese knows a Stacey Baumgartner.
Wow.
He says he knows her. I know Stacey Baumgartner, the one.
All right. Look, hold on a minute, because
look how common this name is.
I went to high school with a girl with that name. So in many ways, and that was in Pennsylvania. Okay, James, it might be a Stacey Baumgartner, could be German or Austrian, indeed.
Okay.
With that, look at that. James, Stacey B lives across the street from us. Come back up.
What?
Bob, look, I know a Colorado family. So you know them as well, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is crazy.
Maybe you read something about a lady with this name before going to sleep. Maybe.
No, absolutely not.
No.
I had never even thought of that name before. Baumgarten was the closest I'd ever gotten, and that was from my German in high school. But no, so
wow,
it was a completely new name and experience. That's why it was such a powerful dream. It just stuck with me.
I can't wait till you're back on next Monday. And maybe there'll be further news.
I've met all 15 of them.
And if she's in Germany, what are you doing here?
No, she wasn't in Germany. She was from Germany.
Oh, from Germany. Okay.
Yes.
What could be any one of these?
So I don't know where she was. It's like I just met her. I don't know where we were. It's just the name stuck.
I don't think
you have 4 or 5 to start with now, so start looking.
There you go.
You haven't been dreaming about Randy Baumgartner, I don't suppose.
No.
Baumgartner.
Thank you. Oh, it's the smuggling festival in Alcutin. Sorry,
smuggling. Okay, so it is sort of contrabandista.
The world's only international zip line. Portugal does it again, along with friendship and cooperation with Spain there. And yes, the festival Contrabando smuggling festival took place in Alcutin between March. So as you're going in, do they check your bags? I wonder.
And a zip line would be a really fast way to get across.
Yeah, did you pack your own bag? Might have done. Have you got any contraband in there? Nope. Okay, come on.
Depends on how you define that.
No security people want that gig, do they? It's such a nightmare having to do that joke every time with every person coming into the festival. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Thank you all for being here this morning. Lovely to hear of the developments, Bob and Viv. Practical Portugal is what it's going to be called now, a realistic approach. James, thank you for joining us from Gaia. Lots of love to Conk and Honey.
Conk and Honey, yeah.
Up there.
I have several versions of that.
I bet you do. And so let's finish with a few dad jokes. Great session this morning. Thank you very much indeed. T-Duck not here at the moment, out and about, but still furnishing us with some fabulous dad jokes. The hour we lost this weekend was the one I was planning to spend in the gym.
Me too.
Yeah, same here.
Twice a year I make that plan and I'm always foiled the time.
Thwarted again. My grandfather said that back in the day he could go into the grocery store with $2 and come out with bread, a dozen eggs, even butter. But now they have security cameras everywhere. Travel also broadens the criminal record. I don't always tell dad jokes, but when I do, he laughs. Thank you very much for those this morning, T-Duck. All the best today with your busy schedule. And just the last couple of comments then. Fun session, thank you, says Jim. Always great to have you here with us on a Monday, Jim. And a smiley face for a laughing, sending Portuguese at least on his way today with some laughs there. So last words. Oh, before we go to your last words, the zip line from Spain to Portugal takes a couple of minutes. Probably gets a bit boring, doesn't it? In fact, it's so long that after a while, the thrill of the zip line, it's like, is this going to be much longer?
Yeah, it's like falling into a bottomless pit. You're scared for the first 3 hours, and then it's like,
whatever.
Okay, I'm falling.
Will this ever end? So you travel. It's real time travel. Oh, this is cool, isn't it? You depart at 10 and arrive at 2 minutes past 9, just in time for breakfast. Antonio, that's fantastic.
Fun.
Thanks for a great show. I ended up defaulting into work and lurk mode. We captured his attention like that smash button, says Portugal's son Francis.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob and Viv, details to get in touch. Anything else you want to say about your wonderful project? Love the pictures this morning. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for just the interaction and between you, Carl, James, just different things just keep flowing, coming together like the puppy mind thing. Everything plays into everything else. This Gumpers group, anybody that wants to reach out to us, currently the most active email is bobvivpt@gmail.com. We are moving into other arenas and a dedicated email and that kind of thing. But anybody wants to reach out to us, because we're continuing to build the network of like Whitby's. I can tell we missed them, and
we were in their town.
We were,
yeah, it was
we were
great.
in that area, and so anybody that would have an interest in visiting with us and others that are coming. James, you actually were on Jennifer's list too. We all wanted to make that work.
Oh, I was clear. It just didn't come together.
So
we'll get it next time.
Yeah,
we will.
And so yeah, continuing to build the network of folks. We got so many insights from Victoria Benson, for example.
She's great.
Well, and the Yermans.
And the Yermans were great. Stubel is a great.
You saw the Yermans as well. That's
We
fantastic.
We saw the Yermans. Yes, we had lunch with them.
Great
they were
chat.
wonderful. They were very helpful.
Yeah.
And Stubel is great. It lives up to the hype about it. I didn't know if it would, but it's a wonderful place to live.
So whether it's through that VIP group or however it is, or a direct email, Carl has our WhatsApp numbers. We are glad to visit about those connections, because one of the things Jennifer talked about a lot was in Africa, in her dealing across multiple countries insofar as its relationship. We've all talked about that before here. And
Portugal is much the same. It's all about relationship.
And so we're building relationships that can help others make a practical choice. That's what it comes down to.
Wonderful. And you mentioned the group, as I've been doing a lot this morning, but that would be a good place. You will be one of our recommended businesses in there. And in that environment, you can chat with Bob and Viv on private chat, away from all the distractions and noise of Facebook and WhatsApp being pinged every 5 minutes and stuff. You can alter your experience of being in there. I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to limit it to 100 or so households, probably, because there'll be couples in there and families and so on. But it'll have a village feel to it, and exclusive, not in the sense of no, you can't come in, but exclusive in the sense of, we're limiting the amount of people moving in there and interacting, so it's not a massive noisy mess, which is what has happened, I think, to social media. And social media, interestingly, is called social media now. It's not called a social network anymore, because I don't think much networking goes on. Whatever happens to friends and networking in social media, it's all about fans and following, isn't it? And what I think we've done with this new community is create a platform where people can speak to each other and not just looking at content constantly pouring down on them, which is
fantastic.
Guilty as charged on Facebook. That's what I do. I use Facebook now. We're streaming on Facebook, but it's no longer an intimate environment where you can. I mean, there's more frustration, I think, and falling out than there is fun and friendship like there used to be in the good old days.
Yes.
Well, on that note, a lot of it, at least in my experience of it, depends on how you use Facebook. I don't take every Tom, Dick, and Harry stranger that sends me a friend request. If I don't know you, if I can't tell someone your story, I'm not going to friend you. So I have a massive 80 friends, and probably 50 of them I don't interact with really, but I have met them and I know them. So you don't get this massive overflow of all this stuff, but you do get the algorithms, all of a sudden stuff showing up on your feed because you went and looked at you know, a rocket ship video, and now everything's about rockets on your feed. So that does happen.
We will not be having that in our environment, and of course we'll have the occasional bit of fun on Facebook and maybe wave to each other passing at great speed on the algorithmic journey over there. But it already feels great, the new network, and I'm glad of the early feedback. And it is a great place to chat and hang out with people in quite a relaxed way. The people you see on your screen right now, for example. Over to you, James, for your final. We didn't do a great deal of mindful migration this morning.
No, you know, this was what in my notes when I look at it, I just put banter. It's like, just conversation, just whatever hits us, and that's fine because it's all written down. I can hit it next week if I need to, or I'm inspired by something else. That's part of, I guess, the aim of living in the moment. You just go with what seems right. And it was very right today. It was a great interaction. I loved it.
Yeah.
I just want to remind people that there's no such thing as the best place for everyone. It just doesn't exist. It's the best place for me. And that's the key thing. And that's what Bob and Viv are providing, is an opportunity to see, is this the best place for me? Because I've no offense to the people in Stubble, but I've had people say, oh, I couldn't stand it. And then they, you know, I love this. And someone, oh man, how could anyone live there? And it's their favorite place in the world. So it's what's best for you. And that's, to me, that's just so important. We forget it. Get here, establish a temporary place for a year. And that goes for buying real estate too. The advice I've heard is like, no, just hang on to it. Look around till you really get a feel. Because once you make that commitment, you know, now that's going to be your place unless you want to go through selling it again. So just the best place is the best place for you. Get here, explore, and determine what that is.
Well said.
Yes.
You have a meme to put. Was this the one you sent to me this morning, James? It wasn't.
No, that's an old one.
Oh my god, they all look the same, don't they? These. I'm trying to find.
If I simply resend it, does it come to you right now?
I found it now. I can pop it on the screen.
Okay.
There's
always this build-up, and then people go,
That's right. It's two Star Trek. It's the one with two Star Trek guys in it.
Yeah. Which one?
Really narrows it down, doesn't it? Is it this one? There you go, James.
Yes.
Can you do that for us?
Spock says sensors have detected a meteor 5,280 feet in length. That's rather large, isn't it? Yes, it appears to be some sort of milestone.
That should have definitely come with a warning. And it was Captain.
They get me. If they make me chuckle, I put them up.
William Shatner's birthday, I believe, last week.
Yes, he was 92.
92.
Same as Les. Les, our Caldush crooner. They're both 92. But we only have access to one of them. Maybe, who knows? Maybe one day we'll have William Shatner on the show. And a meme. You had a meme there, James. Here's one for Bob and Viv, which I think Bob will like especially. American homes, please don't hurt me, says the drywall. Try that again and I'll break your other hand as well.
Yes.
Is that true or is that true?
That's very true. You punch the wall here, you come back with a wound.
A little bit of stucco, a little bit of stucco.
Yeah.
It's a little tougher to get the insulation in there, though. So
it is. Well,
everything, right?
And be careful of those electricity points which come out.
Yeah.
The plug. Okay, great job, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you again next month, Bob and Viv. But you know you're always welcome to pop in, and you'll be moving and a grooving on our new GMP VIP network, which people can join up, sign up to at goodmorningportugal.com. And of course, James, we'll see you throughout the week in the chat and back again on the screens next Monday. Take care. Bye for now. Thank you.
Pleasure. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye. Where's that outro now? Here it is.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.